Another video in this series is a very important one, and this is taking your studies to a completely different level. As you may see, all of my videos are very natural, they're very candid because we want to be upfront with the students. We want to be very straightforward for all of our students, and that's my study pattern as well. At any time, we are available to our students, and you will always get a response no matter what question you raise for us. So this video is another one in the series to take your answer writing skills to a different level. In the previous video, we showed you a skeleton that you must have, or a structure that you must follow when you look at a question, when you see a question. Now we are taking that understanding to a different level by showcasing you a sample mock question and then telling you how much to write, how to write it, where to stop, how many points to write, how do you understand how much you are supposed to write. All of that is explained in this video. So two videos were created for you to help you take answer writing in a simple, easy way. First one gives you the structure, and this one gives you the details on how much to write, how to break down a question, and all of that. So I want to put out a disclaimer here. What we have done is we have based this question from a live class recording that we did during the August case study exam. Now for the May and August exam in 2022, the company given by CIMA was Piping Beverages, a manufacturing company. So what we have done is, for the purpose of this analysis and to show you the experience of a live class and how our classes are run, we've put a class recording from the August 2022 session, which helps you look at an exactly exam styled question and see how we solve it with our students. So the pattern is the same, the structure is the same, just the case study is a different one for showcasing purposes. All the mock questions that students do with us for the November exam will be specifically based on Happy Plays only, which is our company for the November 2022 exam. All mocks will be based on that company only. This is for illustration purposes that we are showing you how our classes are run, how we do mock discussions in class. That is why we have used a recording from the August session. So keeping that in mind, please view this recording carefully. So today's class, I'm going to use the opportunity to introduce mock questions, help you understand what a mock question looks like, how we want to approach a question, and what are some steps we must keep in mind that tell us how much to write, how to present, and all of this you will find very important as you head into your strategic level and the strategic case study, because you will be able to use this writing pattern, will be able to use this writing method to ensure that for each strategic that for the strategic case study as well, you will be able to replicate this method, you'll be able to replicate this writing. So don't worry about that. Just ensure that you follow what we teach, what we introduce for you. So can everybody see both sides of my screen now? On the left hand side is the PDF file called How to Write an Answer, and on the right hand side is a Word file. Can everybody see both sides? Yes, in the chat box, please, if you can. Thank you. So we'll focus on the left hand side for now, and then we'll make a switch to the right hand side. On the left hand side, everybody sees how to write an answer. Now, these are 6 steps that I want everybody to very clearly remember, very clearly have in their mind, very clearly understand. Because when any question comes up, I want you to have a set pattern that you will follow, which means every time a question comes up, I don't want you to think, what should I do first? What should I do second? Should I do this? Should I first read the question? Then should I plan? I don't want you to think any of that. I want you to have a very clear method, very clear structure in your mind telling you from the onset that no matter what the question is, first I will do this, second I will do this, third I will do this, so on and so forth. That's what I'm going to teach you over here. Step number 1 is to be professional. Now, my teaching method for the OCS, MCS, and the SCS in terms of the structure is exactly the same. So those who've studied with me before will know this method. For those who are new, it will be a good enlightenment for you, and it will be a good future method to keep in your mind as well. So the first thing is be professional. You need to remember that you are the finance manager. You are a manager at Piping Beverages. You have been given the role of a manager at Piping Beverages. You are the expert. You are the person who has CIMA knowledge, CIMA background. So you have to ensure that whatever you write, whatever you present is something that is easy and understandable, which I have kept, which I have always asked for in any quiz that you have done with me. May it be the P2 quizzes, may it be the pre-scene quiz, may it be the mixed quiz. I have always asked to present in a simple and easy way, because that's the skill we need for mock writing. So the first thing is, I need to remember that I am the expert. They are asking you a question because they obviously don't know anything about it. For example, if they ask you on costing systems, they're asking you because they believe that you are the expert. You are somebody who studied E2, P2, and F2. So you have to be able to replicate that knowledge, which is only possible if your revision has been done. And that is why I have focused on revision from the very beginning. I have given you the I can statements as well now for focused revision. All of that was done. So when we build and come to mock writing, you have a good platform to start on. So very important for me to understand that step number 1 is I am the professional, I am the expert, I am the one who has to present the explanations and the details. So it's important that whatever I write will be simple and easy for everybody to understand. Everybody with me on step number 1? Yes, in the chat box, please. So drill into your mind. When you are reading the question, keep reiterating, I'm a finance manager at Piping. So we do not go off the rails. Point number 2, why are you writing the report? What is the purpose of the report? So point number 2 is to actually start to read the question. Actually start to understand what on earth are they asking me. And I will only be able to understand that when I start to read the question. Without reading the question, obviously, I can't know what they want from me. Correct? So question number 2, or point number 2, sorry, is to start to read the question. So let's start to read the question now. On the right-hand side, I'm now reading the question. It says from Murat Gezer, who is the finance director, to the finance manager. Subject is key performance indicators. Straight away, I know this is my P2 syllabus. KPIs is part of P2. It has been covered in P2. You should have a simple understanding of what a KPI is. Let me start to read the question. Remember, I'm only on step number 2 right now. I want to figure out what they are asking from me. And for me to figure that out, I'll have to read the question. It's as simple as that. So let me read. I had a call from Karen this morning, and she has a number of concerns about the KPIs we are using at Piping Beverages. So the KPIs that we are currently using at Piping Beverages is a question that we have right now. That's what they're saying. In particular, she believes that we are looking at too many indicators. She thinks that we should concentrate on increasing ROCE, return on capital employed, and that looking at multiple KPIs is preventing us from focusing more on this important target. So KPI is being spoken about, and lots of KPIs we are focusing on, and that's why ROCE is not being given importance. The CEO wants ROCE to be given importance because it's a good, important measure. Piping's budgeting process involves operational and functional managers at all levels discussing target levels for KPIs. So it's clearly mentioned over here. They're giving you information as part of the question that everybody is involved. Operational at the bottom level, functional managers at the middle level, all of them are involved to set the KPIs. KPIs set at individual level are then aggregated for a higher level performance judgment. Karen thinks this makes the process much too slow and the KPI should be set by senior managers. Okay. She has also heard that dysfunctional behavior may arise from using KPIs to measure individual performance. Dysfunctional behavior, again, P2 syllabus. When you look at yourself rather than the good of the entire company, when you look at your department rather than the good of the entire company, is called dysfunctional behavior. For example, there was a report on an individual in the production department who discouraged a staff member who suffered a cut finger while operating one of our production machines from reporting the incident. Instead, the individual paid for a local doctor to treat the injury and then restricted the staff member to light duties, ensuring that this issue does not come to fore. This only we came to know because there was a whistleblower influence. So what we are understanding that in the question they're telling me that the KPIs which are being set are overruled by this kind of behavior. Please draft a response to Karen that deals with the following. So up until now, it was only generic information. This is exactly how an exam question will be. This will be exact the pattern of the question. You are not doing anything different from exactly exam style questions. So up until now, they are only giving me generic information. And remember, I'm only on step number 2, which is I'm reading the question and understanding what do they want from me. I have not arrived at the question yet. So let me look at the question now. Please draft a response to Karen that deals with the following. Now the question is popped to you. Discuss the advantages and disadvantages of the collaborative process by which we set KPI targets. So in the question, they clearly told you that everybody is involved in setting the KPIs. So now they're asking you, what is the advantage of this method, of this collaborative method? Disadvantages of this collaborative method. Now the question will be, how much should I write over here? A very clear, rather a very, very clear presentation has been presented to you because of this particular wording over here. It says subtask 50%. Something like this you can exactly expect in the exam. They will always give this in the exam as well. And this clearly tells me how much to write. Now, how does this tell me how much to write? Let me go back to my introduction video, and those who have focused on my introduction video will know this. Now, please help me with the maths in the chat box, everybody. CIMA says that the entire CIMA exam for each student is first marked out of 100 marks. So you will tell me that why is my final score out of 150? Why do I need 80 out of 150 to pass if each exam is marked out of 100? The very simple answer here is CIMA has 3 variants for each exam. So if you're going to sit the exam, let's say, for example, I'm sitting the exam today. Let's say Brandon is sitting the exam tomorrow. Both of us could receive a different variant, which is chosen randomly by the computer. If it's a different variant, the questions will be different. If the questions are different, the difficulty of those questions will vary a little bit. I'm not saying there'll be a 50 and 100 difference, but there can be a 90, 95 to 100 difference, which means a little bit difference in the difficulty of the questions. So if my exam paper is a little bit more difficult than Brandon's, marking us on the same level will not be very right of CIMA, correct? Because my paper was a little bit difficult. So what CIMA does is to remove all of this objectivity. Each student's exam is first marked out of 100 marks. Each student, no matter how your paper is. And then your score out of 100 is multiplied by a weightage to replicate the difficulty. So if my paper is more difficult, a higher weightage will be multiplied to my score. If Brandon's paper is less difficult, a weightage will still be multiplied, but it will be lower than mine. Nobody knows what this weightage is because it's arbitrarily decided by CIMA and it's not disclosed. If I don't know the weightage, what is the point of me worrying about it? Let me just know that each exam is going to be marked out of 100 marks. If each exam is going to be marked out of 100 marks, please tell me, everybody in the chat box, if there are 4 questions and the total exam is 100 marks, what is the value of each question? Excellent. Everybody's given me an answer, 25. So this question 1 that you see on your screen is worth 25 marks. From that, they are telling you that task number 1, this task number 1 is worth 50% of those marks. So if entire question 1 is 25, task 1 is 50% of those marks. What is the value of task 1, everybody? 12.5. Very simple. Now CIMA says that one well-explained point, one well-explained argument gives the student 2 marks. So if I want to score 12.5 marks, roughly how much will I have to write? 1.2 marks. So for 12.5 marks, roughly how much should I write? 5 to 6 pointers, let's say. I'll say 5 to 6. These 5 to 6 pointers clearly give you an insight that, okay, for this particular task, I need to come up with 5 to 6 pointers. So 2 to 3 advantages, 2 to 3 disadvantages in a descriptive way, in a well-presented way, like I have always asked in any quiz, may it be the pre-scene quiz or the mixed quiz, is what we require for task number 1. If you did that, nobody can stop you from getting the marks. Same way for task number 2, they want 50% of the marks. So 12.5 marks. Again, 5 to 6 points I will have to replicate, give an answer to for task 2. And that will be the end of my question. They have still given you a copy of the group level KPIs, which are attached below. It's part of the question. They say that piping has existing KPIs. Existing ones are environmental performance, safety performance, financial performance, extra information given to you. So I have a very good question which says, are there always 2 parts to the question? At least 2 parts is what you will always get. There can be 3, there can be 4. 3 is what you can ideally expect, but it doesn't really matter. Whatever it is, you know its percentage upon 100 into 25. So if there are 3 tasks, it can be 25, 25 and 50. It can be 10, 10 and 80. It could be anything, but ideally you'll have 2 tasks or 3 with equal weightage, ideally. But whatever comes up, I don't care because I know how I have to distribute my writing. Is everybody clear with this? Please give me a yes in the chat box. This is very, very important to understand. Otherwise, we'll always keep making errors. Okay. Now you will see that I'm not discussing the answer with you, because obviously, like I said at the very beginning, nothing ready will be given. We will give you the direction, then we'll give you this answer to write for homework, and then I'll correct it with you. Then we'll show you the corrections, then we'll show you the direction. But first, the challenge. So over here, I'm only on step number 2 right now. We still have to reach step number 6. So step number 2 is read the question, figure out what they are asking me. Once I have figured out what they're asking me and how much I'm going to write where, then it's an easy process for me. Now, these first 2 points, coming back to the left-hand side of the screen, these first 2 points I call the planning stage. Out of your 45 minutes that you get for each question, I will ask you to give at least 12 to 15 minutes. Between 12 and 15, you can give as much time as you want for task for point 1 and point 2, which is being professional, then starting to read the question, understanding the requirement of each task. For all of that, I can ask you to take 12 to 15 minutes, because the planning is very important. Understanding the question is very, very, very important before you can even start to put anything on the piece of paper. Start to type anything. Remember, we have not started writing anything at all. So 12 to 15 minutes you can afford to give to this planning stage. Then you still have 30 minutes remaining. In those 30 minutes, I have asked everybody to have a typing speed of at least 35 to 40 words per minute. I've spoken about that. So if you have 30 minutes to type, and if your typing speed is 40 words per minute, you come up with 1200 words, which is more than 2 pages on a Word file in normal font, which is more than enough for you to write 5 to 6 points for task A, 5 to 6 points for task B. Your job will still easily be accomplished. But for that, you will have to plan very well in the first 12 to 15 minutes. So step number 1, the planning stage. Step 1 and step 2 combined create the planning stage, where I give 12 to 15 minutes at least, understanding and reading the question like I just showed you. Everybody with me? Yes in the chat box, please. Now we come to step number 3. Step number 3 is where you actually start to type, where you actually start to put something down. 15 minutes done, 30 minutes remaining. Now I am a robot. I have to keep my head down, type, 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 and type. Finish the answer. So for that, I will need a superior plan, which I've created in the first 15 minutes. Superior typing speed, which we have been practicing for a long time now. And now I know that after my plan is created, only then I can start to type. So the starting point is a title. It's a good practice. You are not going to be getting any marks for the title. So please don't waste 1 minute, 2 minute, 3 minute on it. A very quick title is what we recommend. It could be discussion. On the right hand side, I'm typing it out. So just have a look there. So let's say discussion on whatever, discussion on KPIs and the dysfunctional behavior. It could be, this is my title. You can write anything that you want. You can let your title be anything you want. I don't care. Your job is to just present what your answer is going to include. No wasting any time, because you are going to get absolutely 0 marks for it. So please do not waste any time on it. It's a very quick mechanical thing. It gives a good start to your answer. As it just tells the examiner what your answer is going to be about. Everybody okay with step number 3? Yes in the chat box, please. Now coming to step number 4, which is the introduction. Again, a big 0 for the introduction, but only 2 lines required for you to tell me what your answer is going to include. In this report, I will speak about, I'll be speaking about the advantages and disadvantages of collaborative KPI setting. Along with that, I will also speak about dysfunctional behavior. So simply telling the examiner what your answer is going to include in 2 to 3 lines, absolutely 0 marks for this. So 30 seconds to 1 minute is what you can afford to give for both of this. Are we clear, everybody? Step number 4. Yes, in the chat box, please. Then coming to step number 5, the most important step, and for which you are going to get all your marks. That is the body. This is where you start to answer the question that they asked you. So your remaining 29 minutes you have to give to the body only. So 1 minute gone, title, introduction, then all the time is for the body only. After your introduction is done, just give the subheading. The first question was advantages of collaborative KPI setting. I gave my subheading, and then under that, first advantage, whatever you want to write. First advantage could be, I'll give you an example, a hint. So advantages of collaborative KPI setting, better team motivation. Then explain it in piping's perspective. First advantage explained. Second advantage. Third advantage. Whatever you want to write. Whatever you want to write the advantage as. 3 advantages done. Okay, give another subheading. Disadvantages of collaborative KPI setting. Write first disadvantage, whatever you want to write. Over here for advantages, I gave the example of team motivation, for example. Then I'll start to write whatever I have to write. For each advantage, you'll explain it in 2 to 3 lines in the piping perspective. For each disadvantage, you'll explain it in 2 to 3 lines in the piping perspective. 6 points done. Task 1 complete. Marks in the pocket. Move to task 2. After task 2, this is where you are actually typing out. This is where you've started to type. Planning is completed. First 2 steps was planning, 15 minutes. Once the clock hits 30, because it's going to count backwards when you go to timed mock writing. So once 15 minutes are done, the remaining 30 minutes you start to type. So you have to start using the time. Title quickly done, introduction quickly done, then start writing the body. You'll have a clear vision because you've done the planning already in the first 15 minutes. You know that, okay, I have to write 3 advantages, 3 disadvantages. Start explaining. We cannot waste time once the planning is done. Write your disadvantages. Once the disadvantages are completed, simply give another subheading because there is a second task that you still have to answer, right? So I'll give the subheading as dysfunctional behavior explained, whatever, whatever the task is, I give my explanation for the same. I give my subheading as the same, and then start to write whatever you want to write, whatever, just whatever you want to write, start to put in, start to write, keep writing. Make sure you hit the requirement, which is 5 to 6 well explained pointers, and that will do the job. So I want to ensure that you give simple subheadings. I want to ensure that you make your answer presentable and follow the same method that you have seen in the pre-seen model answers, which you'll see in the mixed quiz model answers. Simple, easy writing, informative writing, simple writing, keeping it to the point. Are we clear, everybody? Yes, in the chat box, are you, if you're with me? Okay. After this is completed, a quick in this question. Okay, I have a question which says short forms can be used. Absolutely not. NOT. Right? Good, simple English. KPI is fine because everybody knows what a KPI is, but otherwise just try to stick to full forms. It doesn't take too much time. At the end, in this question, they've not asked me for a recommendation. They've not asked me to recommend anything. They've not asked me to give my perspective. So I'll include a one-line conclusion. If you have any other questions, please do let me know. Answer finished. Next question. So please remember that we do not want you to spend time on something that has not been asked. If they've asked you for a recommendation, you will obviously provide it. If they've not asked you for it, why should I waste my time on it? I'll only get marks for what they've asked me. So I have a question which says, do we have to change the paragraphs when we explain something different? It should come naturally to you. If you think changing the paragraph will be better presentation, please do that. If you feel that your point will be broken if you change the paragraph, you don't need to do it. Natural writing, let it be something like you would present at work, but simple presentation, easy presentation that you've seen in all my model answers. All right. Great. Everybody understood these 6 steps. These are very, very important. Very good question coming to me. So do we have to do the planning in our head or can we do it within the answer? Completely up to you. Some of my students just like to do the planning in their mind. Some like to actually type out their plan. I don't mind. I've given you 15 minutes. You want to read and plan? Well and good. You want to write and plan? Well and good. I want to see each part of the question being answered. And as and when we have these mock discussion classes, I'll keep showing you different ways of improving your answer, different ways of planning, different ways of, further just making your answers sophisticated. But because this is the first question, again, I want to see what you can do, what your mindset is. So when we give you a correction, with every correction, we'll help you learn. We'll showcase you better methods. But first we want to see what you can do. Okay, so at the end of this video, I want to take you to my live website. This is the MCS page of the website. You can simply visit the website by going to finntutors.com/MCS. Also, there is an option on the top right hand corner. If you simply go to finntutors.com, there's an option on the top right hand corner which says courses. Click on it, choose the MCS course, and you come to this page. Now, my reason to get you to this page is to showcase to you that every single thing that we do is very well planned, very well structured for our students. And an example of the same is on your page right now. See what our students say about us and see how they just followed our system and found excellent value for their money and the time that they invested with us in this course. This is not something that I have created. This is something that students have told us by themselves. And this is just the MCS page. If you look at the testimonials page on the top right hand corner, you'll see more testimonials are put by students over here. Again, we have not created this. This is by the students. And this only reason for me to show you this is so that you buy into the process. So that you understand that the method that we are advocating actually works. It's not a course that we created overnight. A whole lot of time and effort has gone into creating the course. So we are here to help you pass your exam. We are sure that it will pass, it will lead to a positive learning experience for you if our course is followed. Thank you for being here. If you found the course helpful, again, visit the MCS page, scroll down, we have the on-demand course, we have the full course, we have the one-on-one coaching. You can choose what is best for you and then you can sign up. Thank you.